Growing up as a gay identifying male has come with many trials and tribulations, discovery and heartbreak, and far too many obstacles to overcome. In this series, I talk with queer related people who identify as male about discrimination, coming out, their family lives, and much more. This is the Queer Chronicles with Darcy Daniel. In today's episode, I sat down with my good friend Ricky, and we discussed coming out, transitioning, love, and what it's like being a transgender male in 2019.
I'm 22. I've lived in the Lower Mainland all my life, and I'm transgender. Was born a woman, sort of thing. I'm now a man, and I identify as bisexual. And I'm in a polyamorous relationship. I've been working at the same place for about 5 years, and yeah, that's pretty much me.
So you identify as bisexual.
Mm-hmm.
So you like girls too?
I do.
Ooh.
I find I don't really think that much about somebody's sex or gender, however they want to identify, when I think about if I'm attracted to them. Most of the time I think more about, their mannerisms, how they talk, and their personality. And obviously physical attraction has a lot to do with that as well, but to me the actual gender doesn't really matter.
So did you come out as bisexual first or transgender first?
I came out as, I guess, at the same time, but at the time I came out as gay and transgender, and I didn't really, until I got further along in my transition and learned to accept my body more, and I guess went through a medical transition, then I started realizing that I'm attracted to the female form too. I just don't like it on myself. And I guess, my feelings evolved as I get older. But I did originally come out as transgender, and then my family were like, that doesn't make sense. And then I said, and I am attracted to men. And then they're like, okay, that makes sense. I can see you as a gay man, but not a straight one. That's basically what my sister said.
So tell me a little bit more about what it was like coming out.
It was, for me, I basically heard about female to male transgenderism when I was 13 online. I saw some blog posts and some surgery results, and it interested me, and I put it out of my mind more or less. And then when I was 16 and I was doing some soul searching, it kind of clicked in my head. Somebody, I think on Tumblr, they just had a post with a gender swap character, and I remembered what I saw when I was 13, and it kind of clicked in my head that, oh, that does feel right. And it took me about 3 days to tell some of my friends, and they were all for it. They loved it. Teenage girls, they thought it was great. And then I didn't think anything of telling my mom, but she did actually. She wasn't upset in the sense where she was against it, but she did have about 2 weeks where she was crying and saying, I wanted to plan your wedding and things like that. But I don't think it was anything out of malice. It was adjustment for her. And I was kind of the most hesitant to come out to my dad because I didn't think he would say anything against me or stop loving me, but I didn't know if he would maybe understand it. And I was surprised because he kind of got it more than anyone else in my family. And he basically said, well, I was in jail for 20 years. You learn a lot about people, and eventually you just don't judge. And school was great. My teachers, I went to my teachers individually, and they were like, yeah, no problem, we'll support that. And I will say the administration was a bit more of a trouble because it almost felt like they were making a production about it, in the sense where when they heard, okay, I was transgender and I would like to be using male terms, they wanted to have a sit down and a meeting and a safety plan. And for me, that's not necessarily what I want, and it kind of made me feel like, do I need all this? And it did make me uncomfortable.
This has been a sneak peek at Queer Chronicles with Darcy Daniel. Stay tuned for full episodes coming soon.